but I'm desperate because I need some money too. And why the freak are we whispering? Back up, nigga.
Hello everyone, and thank you so much for coming back and joining me. Now in tonight's video I'm going to be doing something that has been highly massively requested for me to do on my channel. So I thought that I would do it because I absolutely love Dave Chappelle. And I actually watched it this morning. So many people were asking, Julie, you must do a review on Dave Chappelle's special stand-up, basically. And it was on, I think, just for over an hour on Netflix. And I watched it this morning and oh my good goodness, heck to the freaking well yes from me. 100% positive, loved it. My stomach was in absolute knots laughing. It was absolutely hilarious, guys, honestly. And literally in this, I would have loved to have, for this to have been called Dave Chappelle's Alphabet Street, or Dave Chappelle Takes You to Alphabet Street. And I'll get to that in a minute. Because in this, he pretty much, you know, rips into the alphabet community, the LGBT community. First off, straight off the bat, what I absolutely loved about this comedy special of Dave Chappelle was the fact that it opened up, completely just started off with the song 1999 by Prince. And I just really quickly want to show you, and I do have my notes here of everything that I want to say about tonight's video, but I just want to show you that I am absolutely obsessed with Prince. So I just thought I would show you, I have Graffiti Bridge Prince DVD, and I also have a book of Prince as well, so I just thought I would really quickly show you that. It's a really heavy book, so I'm just going to set that out of the way, guys. And I also have a Michael Jackson book that my aunt got me because she knows I'm obsessed with Michael Jackson. So Michael Jackson and Prince are my two favourites. So massive bonus, thank you so much Dave Chappelle for opening up with such a classic song, the song 1999 by Prince. Now in this special, Dave Chappelle is, you know, pretty controversial, right? So of course, you know, this show has had a lot of controversy and things like that, and people crying, and people getting annoyed, and people getting offended. Now what I will say is, if you are a snowflake, don't even bother watching it. Don't even bother typing it into Netflix. This is not going to be the show for you. There's no two ways about it, right? And if you are offended by anybody talking about the LGBT community, don't watch it, because Dave Chappelle talks about that. But what I want to say is, let's face it, think of the name of this show that's on Netflix. It is called Sticks and Stones. You kind of want to look into that. Sticks and Stones. Also, Dave Chappelle is a what? What does he do for a living? The dude is a comedian. So, comedians do what? They tell jokes. And, you know, a lot of comedians, of course, come off with a lot of controversial jokes. You know, it's not unheard of. You know, this isn't the first time, you know, that someone's came off with controversial things. Now, what I want to say really quickly is, has anyone seen the movie, which I'm sure a lot of you have, called Blue Streak?
And put about 6 or 7 bullets in your ass, man. Okay, now give me that gun. No, don't just hand it to me. I gotta take it from you. Yeah, they're watching, they're looking. All right.
Starring Dave Chappelle, Martin Lawrence. Oh my goodness, them two together in that movie is just pure classic, and one of the scenes you would have seen in the opening of my video tonight. I have seen that film a million times, and I probably would have been about 11 or 12. I went and seen it in the cinema when it first came out with my parents, and I was in absolute hysterics. But anyways, guys, in this Netflix Sticks and Stones, he, you know, talks about the, you know, the alphabet community, basically. But I want to sort of get back to, just very quickly, if you think of other comedians, right? Comedians I love, right? I absolutely love Billy Connolly, right? I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's a comedian. And I used to sit and watch tons of stand-up comedy of Billy Connolly with my father. And my mum loves Billy Connolly as well. And he would come off with controversial things. I mean, I know that's a different era, but you know, still. And then Eddie Murphy. I love Eddie Murphy. I have a ton of his movies, and I have his stand-up as well on DVD. I love him. I think it was called Eddie Murphy Raw or something like that. But anyways, who else do I like? I like Russell Brand, not as much as he used to, but I really think he's hilarious. I love Russell Brand, and I think he's pretty good at stand-up. He's not the best, but I would say Billy Connolly would probably be my favourite stand-up comedian. And, you know, they would come off with controversial things. So that's the thing, you know, I don't see what the issue is. Now, I agreed with literally everything pretty much that Dave Chappelle said. And he was saying about the alphabet community, and it was absolutely hilarious because he was saying, you know, I'm talking about those L's, those B's, those G's, those T's, and all that there. And then he was saying, I'm talking about all of those letters, you know, and he was saying, like, you know, pretty much picture them in a car and everything, and pretty much sure it's, you know, the G's that are, you know, driving in the car and everything, you know, just shout, you know, when you hear your letter or something like that there. And then he was pretty much saying all the letters are the same movement, but, you know, they're all just the same and travel in the same car. And, you know, that is pretty bang on, and a very good way of putting it, and quite a funny way of putting it. And that is my problem. I don't have an issue with someone being gay. I really, really, really don't, right? And if anybody wants to think that, whatever. You can think whatever you want at the end of the day. It doesn't bother me, to be quite frankly honest. I do not have a thing against it at all. I actually have family members that are gay. Don't have an issue, to be quite honest. But my issue is when they're not keeping it to themselves to the point where they feel like they have to use it as a means to get A, B, C, D and E. That's where my problem is. And then when it comes into pandering and comes into, you know, oh, there's not enough this in movies, there's not enough of that in the gaming world, you know, all that, that's where it starts to get to me. So what he was coming off with, you know, about the whole alphabet community was just common sense and just the way it is, and it's everything he was saying was just reality. So reality for me, reality check for others maybe. The only person that I think would take offence to it is just snowflakey people. And here's the thing, people who took offence to this show and are getting really annoyed about it and kicking up about it and crying their eyes out, they do not have any interest in Dave Chappelle, because they obviously aren't a fan of Dave Chappelle, they obviously don't get his humour, they obviously have never seen him before. If you know Dave Chappelle at all, anything that he said in that wouldn't have came across as, you know, a shocker to you, you know, like shock horror, I can't believe he said that. So that's the thing, these are just people that have heard, oh, you should hear what he said, he was talking about the LGBT, and he was saying that, you know, we're all alphabet people and all that there. I read it in an article, and then they probably didn't even watch the whole thing, they probably just got to that part and then just, you know, cried about it and had an uproar about it. Anyhow, this was absolutely hilarious. I would highly recommend it if you love comedy. Highly recommend it if you love Dave Chappelle, or you want to see someone really tear into the likes of, you know, the LGBT community. Freaking well, watch it now, Hector. Freaking well, yes. Another thing that I love that he brought up was Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is my all-time favourite artist. Prince as well. I love them too, I really do. But if I had to pick, it would be Michael Jackson. But Prince is the man as well. But anyhow, he was pretty much saying, you know, the man's been dead for 10 years, yet is it not a bit odd pretty much that, you know, there's 2 new cases coming up? Yeah, like them dudes are talking nonsense. Pretty much that's what he was saying. And he's 100% right. So again, everything he's saying, I 100% agree with him. Now, I'm not saying I 100% know that A, B or C or D didn't happen, right? Okay, I'm not going to get too into it. But at the same time, I'm saying that I 100% in my heart don't believe. Okay? So where I'm sort of coming from is I watched the documentary that he spoke on, Dave Chappelle, in this Sticks and Stones, and he was saying, seriously, if you've seen that documentary, like, that documentary is messed up. And so it was. And anybody who believes the nonsense that them 2 boys came off with, and I'm not going to get any guys, but there was a couple of things that just sounded so too bizarre. There's just no way. There's just no way. Sorry. So to me, I agreed with him. I don't believe it. And I mean, the man's been dead for 10 years. Like, please, could you not just leave Michael Jackson alone, please? You know, find something better to do with your time. So, yeah, I mean, I agreed with pretty much a lot of things he said. And I mean, there was nothing I took offence to. I mean, he's bringing things up that some people might think, oh, well, why did you not take offence to that? You know, I'm not, because I'm not snowflakey. Do you know what I mean? There was nothing that man came off with that I took offence to. And yes, I could see there were certain parts where people would take offence to. But at the same time, then don't watch a comedian on stage. It's a freaking comedy show, love. You know what I mean? If anybody has an issue, I would say to them, well then why did you type in Netflix, Sticks and Stones? It is a stand-up comedy show. If you feel like, it doesn't matter, like if you think about it, I'm sure Eddie Murphy said something controversial to annoy someone. I'm sure Billy Connolly said something that wasn't even controversial, but upset one person in the audience because maybe something in their life has affected them with that. But that's life. At the end of the day, that's the man's livelihood and that's the man's job. Catch a freaking well grip on yourself. But anyhow, I thought it was absolutely hilarious when he was talking about the LGBT community, because he really tore in. He really did. He went all in with that. I was pretty much saying, like, you know, you can't say anything to them. And he went, you know what I mean? You know, the alphabet, you know, people, you know, I'm talking about those L's, those G's, those B's, those T's. All the letters. Absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. But yeah, I feel, you know, the whole Michael Jackson thing was just for money. It's just all for money, all for money, all for attention. But anyhow, I thought what would have been more funny in this show, just as a wee small thing, was, maybe he wasn't allowed to do it, but anyways, I would, with everything that he came off with, I would have been surprised, but I actually thought he was going to start singing, or at least play the song Alphabet Street by Prince, considering he started off with the song 1999 by Prince. I was like thinking, I know what's coming next, I know what's coming next. He's going to sing Alphabet Street, you know, he's talking about the alphabet people, the alphabet community. Absolutely hilarious. But you know what? I want to say hats off to Dave Chappelle for actually bringing up the whole Michael Jackson thing, because that is a controversial subject, and I really respect that he brought that up. Because there's a YouTuber that I watch, I'll not mention their name, but you know, if you want to do your research you can, or you know, whatever, but he's in a show here called The In-Betweeners, and he has a gaming channel, and he actually went on to his YouTube channel a while back, and he spoke about, you know, the whole Michael Jackson documentary thing, and he was pretty much saying that, you know, he thinks it's a load of nonsense too, and I really respect that people, you know, have, you know, a set to actually do that, because it is a controversial thing and it is kind of a touchy subject. I know that. Dave Chappelle in Sticks and Stones pretty much puts it to you in joke versions, of course, because that's what he does. He tells jokes. He's a comedian. That's his job. But he puts it as it is, but he puts it in good wording, if that makes sense. You know, like what you're thinking, but I'm not very good with words. Like, when I'm making videos, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what way am I wording this? I sound ridiculous, I sound like a fool. But, like, Dave Chappelle, even though it was, you know, him up there doing, you know, like a comedy, sort of like a live stand-up sort of a skit, he put it in good words of just common sense, basically. Common sense. Because, you know, I don't care what anybody says, it is, like, alphabet people. Because how many more letters are we going to get? They're going to be taking the whole gosh darn alphabet. So if you want to get a good laugh, watch Sticks and Stones. I mean, he does, you know, do other jokes obviously as well. It's not just, you know, all about the LGBT community and blah, blah, blah. But the whole thing is very controversial, I will say that. But there's nothing that man said that was to the point where I would take offence, or I would see anybody else taking offence, apart from the snowflakes. And if you take offence to this, the snowflakes are a-falling on your head. Keep a-falling. So it's not for the snowflake hearted. Just made that up there now, really proud of myself. Dave Chappelle is absolutely hilarious. I loved him to bits in Blue Streak. And it really honestly has got me like dying to watch it tomorrow now, Blue Streak, because I have it in DVD literally out in my cupboard in the hallway. I love comedy movies, and I love comedy in general. So this gave me a good laugh this morning. I really needed that this morning. My stomach was sore laughing. So thanks Dave Chappelle for making me laugh, and let them all cry. Let them say what they want to say. That was absolutely freaking hilarious. So thanks very much for Sticks and Stones. I liked it, and I highly recommend it to anybody on my channel, because I know the type of stuff, you know, that you guys sort of find funny, do you know what I mean? Or for someone to poke fun at. So I recommend it, and you know, if you have seen it, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments. And if you haven't seen it, have I advertised you enough to go and watch it? Other than that, guys, thank you very much for watching, and until my next video, don't forget that the Force will be with you always. Bye, guys.